definitely a sign that there are people who think that you that there's an age limit on what God can do. When in actuality, I don't think that God has an age limit, because if He can use a donkey, don't tell me He can't use a 12-year-old. If He can make a donkey do ministry, why can't a 12-year-old do ministry? That's just the God we serve. He He's able to prove to us, no matter what and who you are, He still can use you. Uh, he uses water for ministry. The woman at the well, He does things in a crazy way that we sit back, we try to figure it out. And it's like, God, why? And God's just like, because I can.
Right.
And yeah, and it kind of sort of, me and God have our conversations. And I kind of sort of am the type of guy where, people say you should never ask God why. But I was at a funeral when I heard a mortician say, why should I never ask God why when God is the one with all the answers? So, in my conversations with God, it's always God why. Because if you have an answer, I want to know what the answer is. It gives me more clarity to why I'm in the place that I'm in and how I move forward from this place. And even if you don't tell me why, I know there's still a reason. So, we have to be confident in asking God the questions of why we are where we are, why we do what we do. But, for my ministry, I feel like I'm restarting, man. It's been a struggle. But I definitely see God doing some great things with me at the church that I'm at right now.
That's deep, man. It sounds like you in it to win it, and you in it for the long haul, man. And I definitely believe this ministry, preaching and pastoring and all of that is definitely something that God calls you to and prepares you for before you actually get into it. Um, and I see so many people today, man, like, feeling like they're called, they want to preach, they want to be ministers, things like that. Because, I'm going to be honest with you, man, a lot of times, man, I'm like 2 services on Sunday, Bible study Wednesday, if we do a funeral, I'm there, we got to serve food at the repast, I'm there. I mean, a lot of days there's stuff that I find myself doing that I don't really want to do. So when I
Really,
see people, it's like I played ball in high school, man. I'm on the basketball team, and a lot of guys want to be on the basketball team. It was like, man, we practiced like every day that we didn't have games, and then when we had games, we had to travel if we were away, and be up and out late, and then it was days I'm like, man, I don't even want to be on the team. But it was guys that would kill to be on the team, man. And I feel that way with ministry sometimes. It's like people be thinking like, man, it's glitz and glamour, and it's like, man, so much goes into preparing a sermon and actually preaching it, then coming down and talking to people and having to listen to people and man, hear everybody's story and it's like, dude,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
you sure you want this?
Every every Sunday, man. Every Sunday, and I'd be like, oh God, can I get a break, please?
Right,
And and then you got the hospital visits, and
right,
you got to go see people. You got to go to the elderly, and and that's even outside of the pastoring stuff. Because even as a youth and young adult pastor, even before I was youth and young adult pastor, I still did those things. I still went to visit the sick. While I was at Union, I would go to the MCV every now and again and just see people I didn't even know. I just go, pray with them, have a conversation, sit down, eat with them sometimes. It was always that part of me that was like, I want to go see these people. And that's how I kind of knew God was calling me to be a pastor. I just didn't think it would be so fast. I didn't think it would happen so quick. I thought it was going to be, I honestly thought I was going to start pastoring until I was 30.
Right.
I didn't think I was going to pastor until I was 30, 35 because, a 24-year-old pastor in a Baptist church in the country, whew, come on, man. That's a little steep. that right there, you don't hear about that too often.
I think that might be history, man.
Yeah, man, at the church that I'm at, man, that is extreme history, because their normal age for pastors has been, I think, 54 and older. And 140 years, I am the seventh pastor, I think, eighth pastor, and I'm the youngest pastor. So it has been, yeah, it has been a definite challenge, but I know that it has been worth it all the way, because you're going to have those people that love you. You're going to have those people that kind of love you. And then you're going to have those people that's going to want to try to love you, but it's going to be hard to love you. But you still have to be the person to love them anyway. Dr. Jeremiah Wright, I sat behind the pulpit with him when he came to preach at Union for the Wyatt T. Walker Foundation celebration, where we honored Dr. Wright. And I leaned over and I said, Dr. Wright, what is the greatest lesson you've learned in ministry? And Dr. Wright said, well, young boy, my greatest lesson that I've learned in ministry is to never stop loving the people because God never stopped loving me.
Wow.
And that has been my motto as the pastor. Even when y'all get on my last nerve, I still love you.
Yeah.
Even when y'all do some things that I just disagree with, I still love you, because I've done some things that God just don't like. I've said some things that God don't like. I've been places that God don't like, but He's continued to love me in spite of me being like me. And so that's why I continue to try my best to show that pastoral love, because every pastor isn't. I'm gonna get in trouble. Every pastor doesn't show a pastoral love. I was talking to some of my musicians, and they were actually expressing some of their concerns about some of the places they had come from, and one of their major things was we never had someone to fight for us like you do, and it's definitely a challenge. It is, being being a pastor at a country Baptist church full of older people. It has definitely been a challenge, but those same people that I'm trying to show the way are the same people that I have to answer to God for. So even when they make me mad, I can't push them away, because God never pushed me away. How would we feel? How would we feel as preachers, as men of God, for someone to come to us that has wronged us, and we just cast them away? And then when we do something that God don't like, and then He casts us away, and He's like, I just did to you what you did to somebody else. So now you know how I feel. So, I do my best to continue to love everybody that, comes in my peripheral, that comes in my view. I want to make sure that in spite of who you are, I gotta love you. So yeah.
Yeah, man. That's wow, man. Wow, man. I need to take notes, man. Where'd all this wisdom come from, my brother?
I like that question.
Man, you like a book, man.
I like to sit at the feet of people with gray hair.
Yo,
uh,
okay. Yeah.
I like to sit at the feet of people with gray hair. And one of my, my as I say, my pastor, Reverend Samuel Robinson, was my first pastor. Dr. Chandler, Dr. Waller, Dr. Bridget Wilson. But I gotta be honest about it. The man that I have had the honor, the privilege, whatever other word that anybody can find to use is none other than Reverend Angelo V. Chapman.
Yeah, man.
I have sat at his feet and he has instilled things into me that have just blown my mind. He has told me some things that have made me sit in my room and cry sometimes, just thinking of, oh, wow, God, you really do care. Because sometimes it'll be like, God, I don't think you care. But in sitting at his feet, and even in moments where it's like I couldn't understand what he was talking about, because sometimes he would say some things, and I'd be like, what? What did you just say? Like, I had a whole headache leaving out his office. But in sitting at his feet, and being able to serve as his intern, and him taking me places with him, going to conventions and sitting there, chilling at Hampton with him, and all this other stuff, he became a part of my wisdom. He instilled so much into me that I have notebooks and of stuff that I just wrote down sitting in his office. And whenever I'm going through a sermon or something that he said might come back to my mind. And I got to go get one of my notebooks to figure out where I wrote it. Because, man, I got stuff scattered everywhere that is, courtesy of Angelo Chapman. So, I like to sit at the feet of people with gray hair, man, because they can give you so much wisdom, man. I'm a firm believer that every young preacher should have somebody with gray hair. You should always be at the feet of somebody who, even if it's not your pastor, you should have that mentor. Of all your mentors, you should have that one mentor that when you sit at their feet, they're giving you something that makes you sit there and think so hard that it's like you don't even want to think about it no more because it's making your head hurt. I believe every young preacher needs one of those, because when we're doing things like this, when we're trying to motivate others, we can speak from a perspective of someone who has come before us that has helped us to get to where we are. And those same words that helped us to get to where we are can help someone else get to where they're trying to go. So, yeah, I'm a firm believer in that every young preacher needs somebody with gray hair.
That's profound, man, and that's like illustration of why you are where you are today, man. Because what you just said just shows so much humility, man, and patience and respect, man. Because as younger persons, sometimes we tend to want things fast and think we know everything, man. But you just said that every young preacher should have somebody with gray hair, man. And that's real, man, because those are the persons who have lived longer than we have seen things that we've read about
Yes, sir.
in textbooks.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And
And
go ahead.
go ahead.
I was going to
Go
say,
ahead. What you say?
and can teach us and talk to us, man, off the top of their head, man, because they've lived it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
I've I've never seen I've never seen a preacher like the Reverend Angelo V. Chapman ever before in my life. Um, I know there are preachers that I kind of sort of look up to that are um, of a different caliber than myself. Um, but I think the preacher that I would say honestly, that I would